Hello and welcome to Boomer Live, ladies and gentlemen. As you see the video title right there, RCB are into a Women's Premier League final. We are supposed to come here and talk about Gujarat Titans, but Gujarat Titans can wait. But here we are to talk about WPL. As I mentioned at the start of the WPL, the two strongest teams are Delhi Capitals and MI. One of them is already in the final. RCB, I did not expect them going into the final, but that's actually good. When you don't expect them is when RCB does well. Now that's a good trick. And whenever I wear my lucky Argentina jerseys, my team just ends up winning. That's another trick behind this.
How
Either
will you do
ways,
this? I mean, how
either
will you wear the
ways.
jersey for a
Can
whole
you just
month,
imagine?
Abel?
Jaren, I'll tell you what happened. Okay, I decided not to watch this match in the second innings because I thought RCB are gonna lose. Okay, then I was
Yeah.
like 21 required of 20, 26 required of 21 balls. I might just watch what's gonna happen. Then Harmanpreet Kaur falls. Then slowly Sanjana Sanjeevan falls. Then it's just been falling and falling, and we just ended up winning out of thin air. We just snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. That's exactly what I would want to say. That was a very good game from RCB. Top effort, top captaincy from Smriti Mandana. I mean, she just had to give to Asha Shobana the last over. Knew the ball was turning, and she delivered once again in a clutch moment. Asha Shobana, proud of you. RCB, proud of you, girls. Hopefully, you deliver us that trophy. But have you heard of DC RCB final before in the second season of a Premier League? It happened. I hope the result is different.
It's never. Yeah, I
No,
mean,
no, no.
you'd have to
It
say,
happened. You understand my reference? DC RCB final in the second season of Premier League. That happened in 2009.
Deccan Chargers. Absolutely. It's happened before. And you know how it ended up last time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly my problem. It was an Australian captain as
Yeah.
well against an Indian captain. So
Yes.
I just hope the result is
Yeah.
different. But sometimes it does. It need not be, because I'm telling you, Delhi is the strongest team of this tournament, and they are. RCB will start as
Absolutely.
underdogs for sure. I have zero hopes, but we only have belief. 99%, 1% chance and 99% faith is what we go into these matches with. Even though my brother is happy, but he's getting memories of DC into the so no hopes. Yes, Teju. I agree. But can you look at this resemblance, Jaren? In 2008, RCB finished second last in the table.
Hmm.
In 2023,
Yeah.
RCB finished second last in the table, right? In the very next season, they went on to play the final. The very next season, once again, they went on to play the final. But the only difference is DC is playing the second consecutive final. At that time, DC had a horrendous first season as well. DC finished
Yeah.
last. So it was
Yeah.
seventh and eighth team who went on to play the final that time around. This time, it is the first team who finished last time again who's going to be in the final. So for RCB, it's a new territory. DC has never won a trophy. RCB has never won a trophy among all franchise leagues. This is historic, Jaren.
Yeah.
This is going to be first time ever one of the franchise will lift a trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Mumbai to be, what, 120 for the loss of three at the end of 18th over, I think three it was, yeah? Yeah, it was three or four. Four. So it just seemed like it is there, it is there to be grabbed. And I think 15 to win of 12 in any format, be it women's or men's, pretty much you would say the batting team is the one who's going to win. And Harmanpreet said it. I mean, they did not get a boundary in the last 2 overs when they really needed it. And I mean, Asha Shobana, what a clutch moment for them. It never happens for RCB when they're chasing. I mean, when they're defending a target that they end up winning. We've had many moments for RCB where they are the team that is batting and they've pulled it off. But yeah, I mean, it is historic for sure. You would have to say.
Yeah.
MI will really feel like. I mean, you said that RCB won it out of the jaws of victory, but I think MI will feel like they gave away the victory. It is more like you lose victory from your own jaws and just basically gift wrap it to RCB. That's exactly what happened. Because at that point in time, with Harmanpreet batting, with Vastrakar still on strike, it just seemed like game over for Mumbai. And I think that also showed Mumbai has been throughout this tournament slightly top heavy. And the moment you rip off the top, it's not very easy to do, mind you. But once you rip off their top, it's very easy to win against them. And that's been the case this time around. It's
I'm
not
just
been an
gonna put it.
invincible MI
I'm just gonna
last
put a
season.
controversial statement. How many times have we seen Harmanpreet Kaur choke in important moments in her career, both for India and now for Mumbai Indians? It's very weird. I mean, she's won games. Obviously, she is a defending
Yeah.
defending champion captain of MI. But let's talk about Harmanpreet Kaur playing a loose shot, getting run out, playing unnecessary cricket when you need her to step up. And it's nothing which surprises me, right? She didn't have to play that shot there. It was a long boundary. She should have never taken the best bowler of tonight's game. That was Shreyanka Patel from RCB's end. She should have never targeted her. She could have gone after Sophie Molyneux. She could have gone after. She knew there was enough amount of runs who she could have gotten off an Asha Shobana who was slightly underconfident. But she decided to do that, and then she has to take the brunt of it. And she ended up blaming it on her teammates, quite conveniently saying that, you know what, turning point of the match was the people couldn't handle pressure. But I believe Harmanpreet Kaur couldn't handle pressure here. That's what exactly has happened.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at MI last season as well, Abel, they never really struggled to, they never really had an issue. It was just an invincible run. I think the only match they struggled was the one where Delhi Capitals, the women's team, absolutely ripped through them. I think that was the match where, I mean, it was Madison Cap who got those wickets for them when bowling, and then, reduced them to 109, and then Meg Lannon and Shefali Verma, and then Alice Capsey really ended the show. But that was a league game of no consequence for both the teams. So you're right in that fashion that this year Mumbai hasn't really been that invincible team, and I think really that two factors. I think MI obviously some of them have been exposed. That top order has really not performed as well as they did last season. They have performed really well, but they were not invincible, and then their middle order was exposed. And Delhi
Yeah,
Capitals has been more of the invincible blue side this season. But you're right
yeah,
about that. Now, Harmanpreet will really need to have a long, hard look. I think both Smriti Mandana and Harmanpreet have done this, but Smriti Mandana did give them a good start. Again, she ended up playing a loose shot when they just lost the wicket
yeah, 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 yeah.
early on. So both the stalwarts of Indian women's team did
But
not
Jared,
do
let's be
what they were
honest, the
asked.
context of Smriti Mandana playing that shot and Harmanpreet playing is so much different. Because a new
That
batter
is
in that
different,
crunch
true.
situation is so much more hard. And what Harmanpreet had to do was to tick singles. Right? That's why we call some of the best finishers in the world are the ones who are so composed under pressure, who does not really need to take the boundary option all the time. You really have to have
Yeah.
that game awareness. That's how you become the best finisher. And Harmanpreet Kaur gets no leeway here because she's an experienced campaigner. She's been in and around. She's captain of the Indian national cricket team. And also, she's a captain of the Mumbai Indians team. So, obviously, you can't take blame. Agreed, you're a defending champions captain, but then you can't afford to do this because she has done it multiple times for Indian teams. So, that's something which she is to improve. And hopefully, she does that at some stage. I don't know at what stage, but at some stage. But either ways, how do you see this final, Jaren? I mean, all set up. Delhi Capitals are the favorites. There's no mincing words here. Delhi Capitals are the favorites to win the title, 100% because the season they've had, they've barely lost any game. I'll say the game RCB versus Delhi Capitals was one of the games of the tournament. One run loss. I mean, anything could have happened
Yeah.
that game, right? I mean, RCB would want to get the revenge of that. You have to just be honest. This has been the best Premier League tournament across sport in cricket. Let's say take all the leagues, like men, international, everything together. Just been one of the best. PSL, whatever, whatnot, BBL. Let's say this women's Premier League ranks up there. Priyanka says peak women's sport. Absolutely delighted, loved it. I think this has been peak sporting moment
Yeah.
in terms of cricket. This tournament in general. How many nail biting games? Deepti Sharma masterclass. Let's talk about Asha Shobana masterclass. Sanjana Sanjeevan. Richa Ghosh last ball. I mean, I can give you at least 10 of them in the 20 games which already happened. And that's a good amount of games if you're a 20-game tournament.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think best thing about this season was, I mean, last season you felt like only Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians were the ones in it to win it, and the rest of them were just there to play a few matches. UP Warriors, who ended up in the eliminator, weren't really that impressive either. But this time around, you would have to say that both UP Warriors and RCB have really stepped up. I think that's also got to do with the fact that they've been to one season, and they've built that camaraderie amongst themselves. I know there were a few moments as well. I mean, I think there was one moment where Sophie Ecclestone went on to say that her UP Warriors teammates can't take catches. So those kind of moments have also happened. But I think that that what we saw in IPL, the men's IPL, where the likes of Harbhajan Singh and Ricky Ponting were playing together, or they had Andrew Simons and Harbhajan Singh had a very good moment together after that
Srishant and
monkey cage
Harbhajan.
incident. So I think that Srishant and Harbhajan is a dark is a dark history that none of us want to talk about. But I'm just talking about the good parts. And I think you have to say that those things are happening in women's cricket as well. Although I really hope Alicia Healy and Harmanpreet play together in one team, maybe that will sort a few issues between them. But you'd have to say that, overall, yeah, you're right. I think this WPL has been a lot better because four teams have competed. Gujarat Giants have been the only team, ironically named Giants, who've been an absolute disappointment once again. But aside from that, 4 out of 5 teams doing well, 80% of the team being competitive. I think that's great for any league.
I mean, a great point there. But yeah, I mean, that's about it from this particular segment. I think we'll do a preview before the final. I think that's tomorrow. We'll do a preview tomorrow or before the final. That's the day after tomorrow. Before the final, we'll talk about it because we have to. It's a big moment in Indian cricket to have RCB and Delhi in the final. Both teams who haven't won a single trophy. For Delhi, they've had teams across different countries as well when it comes to franchise cricket. They've not won there as well. Dubai Capitals or Pretoria Capitals for that matter. Where else do they have team? I think it's Dubai and it's Emirates and South Africa at
Yeah,
this moment, right? They don't have anywhere else. Yeah. And then
yeah,
they have
two
it
of
in
them.
Delhi Capitals themselves and the Women's Premier League. They've made it to all finals. They've made it to finals every time. They just made it to the Emirates T20 final as well. They just did not win that. They did not win any of these. And you can say they've always come close. They've been very close of touching distance in all franchise leagues, but they've never won it. But this is an opportunity to turn it around. They are the best team so far. But let's see if things change, or is it going to be RCB's maiden ever title? Ooh, that's something new.
Oh,
Something which we
are
have
you
never
gonna? I
gotten
mean, how are you
before.
gonna celebrate if RCB do win it?
I'll celebrate it by winning the men's IPL.
You are gonna do squat by winning the men's IPL. You don't play for the men's team. How will you have
Either
any
ways,
bearing? All you can do is
yeah,
wear.
I'll
You
celebrate
would
it
have to wear
when we
your
win the men's IPL,
Argentina
man. That's
jersey.
being very honest. I'll celebrate it with the men's IPL. That's as simple as that.
You would have to put for that. You would have to wear your Argentina jersey for the whole month. I mean, whole three
Nah,
months.
bro. I'm not gonna keep superstitions on jerseys and stuff. Just watch it, enjoy it, keep no hopes. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's how RCB
Yeah,
fans way to
fair
go
enough.
about it. I mean, if one
Fair
team
enough.
does it, then you can look for inspiration. I'm not expecting RCB women to win this IPL, WPL for that matter. If it happens, it
No,
happens.
me too. Yeah. I mean, you asked me about the finals. It just seems like David versus Goliath.
Yeah, to be very fair, because that's Jemima Rodriguez form, Shefali Verma's form. Meg Lanning has been doing well. Capsy came in and played some knocks
Yeah.
there here and there. The bowling has stepped up whenever they need be. So they're a well compacted team, powerhouse of a team. So you are competing, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, anything is possible, and that's this WPL has shown that. But one factor is going to be Delhi are going to be playing at their home ground, and the support. Let's see who gets it. So that's where it's going to be very interesting. But let's go to Gujarat Titans in the men's IPL. That's why we are doing the show primarily. Um, how do you see Gujarat
Yeah.
Titans? Because we talk about controversies, everything. Gujarat Titans have been in the news for the last 6-7 months. Though they lost the final, they've been most number of times in news, primarily because of their former captain Hardik Pandya, and also because of everything that's
Yeah.
happened around him. Right? How do you see them stepping into the season? Because before the start of the season, in itself, major blow in Mohammad Shami not being part of this IPL. And to add to which, they still have to find the void of Hardik Pandya because let's be honest, Hardik Pandya gave them the balance. And to find a replacement for Hardik Pandya, I know Omar Zai is
Yeah.
there, you can say Shah Rukh Khan is there, but you need two players to replace Hardik Pandya because that's the impact of Hardik Pandya. So it's not easy. Vijay Shankar has to possibly play his best ever IPL. He's done that so far in the last seasons. He's already played some of his best knocks in IPL, but he's still far away from being a Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, I mean, you have to turn into probably he will have to turn into Hardik Pandya. I mean, there's no qualms about it. You spoke about how he's played his best ever IPL season so far, but he's been in supporting role, and I think Vijay Shankar will have to do much more than that. That's the only way this team can do it. All of a sudden, Vijay Shankar will have to turn into the Vijay Shankar that destroyed Ambati Raidu's international career. And that's the kind of Vijay Shankar that you will have to see back. The guy who will pick up wickets, who will get runs. You will need that from him now. Otherwise, all of a sudden, this team looks down because, especially, he'll have to play that role he did. I won't be surprised if he. I mean, you want him to ball. But then now the question is going to be, will he be balling at all? And if he does, when will he be balling? Yeah, Priyanka, I think Ellis Perry is the Jack Scalise of
I think
women's team
Ellis
for
Perry, if you have
sure.
to put the
Oh, by the way,
greatest
very
cricketers
interesting.
in the world, Ellis Perry comes in top five, top
Yeah.
six, 100%. She can
Fun
ball, she
fact.
can
So I
bat,
learned something
she
very
can
interesting from
field,
Ellis Perry.
she plays football, she played FIFA World Cup for women. What else can she not do?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah. About
now,
that, about that, Abel. You know, Ellis Perry has more knockout runs in ICC World Cups than Sachin Tendulkar, and more goals than Cristiano Ronaldo in FIFA World Cup knockouts.
wow,
I think
that's
that
enough.
shows she's probably
She's
one of the
possibly the
greatest
greatest
sportswomen out
cricket
there.
personality the world has seen. So let's just put,
Yeah,
don't even bring Hardik Pandya into this discussion because we're talking serious stuff here. We're not talking about Mumbai Indians and showpiece and batting without shirtless stuff and things like that. We're talking about serious things. We're talking about things like not. I'm just baffled at Hardik Pandya as the person. Come to that later. But we'll talk about Gujarat Titans to start off with, right? We'll talk about the squad.
yeah.
I didn't even know that we were talking about Gujarat Titans because I was so ecstatic about RCB's final appearance. I forgot about it, where the squad is. I have to pull out the squad. Thank you, Abhishek, for joining in. Just to put it right there. The squad is right here. Very interesting squad, as I mentioned. They have a Sai Kishore, leading wicket taker from the Ranji Trophy. In case Rashid Khan is not fit in time, they can afford to play a Sai Kishore to start off with and Noor Ahmed. Then they have the new additions. I'll talk about the new additions to start off with. They've got Azmatullah Omarzai, Umesh Yadav, who I think will be like replacement of Mohammad Shami. Then they have a Karthik Tyagi, who I believe should get an opportunity this time around in the IPL. Then they have Robin Mintz, who's known as the Kyron Pollard from Jharkhand, but he's called as, don't take it as a slur, but he's called as a Bihari Kyron Pollard. So let's not get into this. Uh, and then we have Rahul Tewatia, who's possibly the greatest cricketer after Sir Donald Bradman has ever played the game. Then you have Vijay Shankar,
No, I
who's
think
better
he
than
is.
Smith and
I think you're
Hafiz.
undermining him. I think he is. With the bat in hand is Don Bradman, and with the ball in hand
Then
he
do you
is Shane
remember
Warne.
a very particular show we did mocking Gujarat Titans? And rest is history.
Oh my god. We're there yet again. I think we're there again after 2 seasons.
Yeah, we're there again. Every year, we're there again. Every time we feel this team can't
Yeah.
do it, I don't know what to say because this team has got some black magic with that team, man. It's that triangle and stuff involved in that logo. It looks like sus. Uh, to be very honest. But either ways, let's get into this team. As I mentioned, they look toothless in many departments, as always. That's exactly the terminology used by me 2 years ago, sitting there mocking this team, and they went on to win the
Yes.
season. Yeah, I'm using the exact
Yeah.
terms. They do look toothless once again in multiple fronts. Talking about which, Shubman Gill's debut season as an IPL captain. Now, that's exactly the terminology I used for Hardik Pandya 2 seasons ago. Again, Shubman Gill's debut season as a captain. How do you need? Maybe they need your Argentina jersey. They don't need it, bro. They absolutely don't need it. I need that Gujarat Titans jersey. But that's got the power in it. If not for Mohit Sharma's one bad ball, they could have had two back-to-back seasons, man. Can you imagine? They were just one ball away.
He did ball two bad balls.
I'd say one, bro. If that last ball would
Two.
have been good, anything would have happened. So yeah, talking
No.
about which, how do you
See, that
see this
was,
time?
you have to
And
say that was.
Shubman Gill. Let's get to Shubman Gill, right? How do you see him? How do you see him as a captain? Responsibility is new. There's a lot of chatter about his form, but he was able to answer it in the test series with the bat. But once again, back to Ahmedabad, where he loves playing. He's not that equipped like what Hardik Pandya was with the ball. He's not captain anywhere much. And at the same time, a bowling which is less superior than what Hardik Pandya had. And the balance as well.
Yeah, I think he has been a cap. I think he's captained in Duleep Trophy and the other trophy.
Okay.
He's also captain Punjab in Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, if I'm not wrong, but he's not really. I think in India A as well, against New Zealand. That's what I found out. But the fact that he's still new, and those are not the levels that we're talking about. And you would have to say, I think if you look at this bowling lineup, that's one of his biggest headache. Mohammad Shami would have solved 75% of his problems, but that doesn't mean it would have solved a lot. I mean, there are still a lot of issues in this team. You don't have a death baller. Probably you'll have to fashion Karthik Tyagi into a death baller at this point in time, from what I feel. But he's a lad who's very much underconfident. I mean, he was absolutely. I think the right word to say is he was abused by the Sunrisers Hyderabad team. Not played at all. The captain doesn't know what he's doing. The coaches, and I mean, in fact, the last thing we hear about him is Mutai Muralidharan saying that he's not hungry to learn. So he would have to prove a lot of points there. Umesh Yadav, you said he's a like-to-like replacement for Mohammad Shami, but then for what Mohammad Shami, the kind of form he was in, and Umesh Yadav, the kind of form he is in, there's a huge difference. There's almost, there's a lot of difference. The Umesh Yadav that we remember playing for RCB, where he was picking up those wickets in the power play with Siraj, to the Umesh Yadav that we saw for Kolkata Knight Riders, massive difference. So now, how will a Shubman Gill, because you require a very good captain. And I think the worst thing that happened to Shubman Gill is one of their best bowlers has gone on to their competitor, that is Hardik Pandya. You speak about the captaincy and everything else. He was a very good bowler for them, and he was picking up key wickets for them as well. So you've lost one of the best batters. You don't know one of the best you've lost one of your best bowlers all in one. So now the question is, and they haven't really done well as well with the cash that they got. They might as well have gotten Cam Green in as an exchange.
Yeah.
That would have given them a lot more talents than
Yeah,
probably
that was not a
trying
bad
to
option
get
at
into
all.
the
But then
auction.
Gujarat again was very, very subtle in the way they operated in the auction. They did not go big buy. They did not go with big money, especially when it comes to them splashing on some of the players we thought they will. They bought a Shah Rukh Khan, who they
Yeah.
believe is a finisher in this team, or you can bat at number 5, who is somewhat like a Hardik Pandya kind of a role. But let's be honest, like Hardik Pandya had different
Can he do
dimensions
it?
to his game. He could come out, play a anchor if need be. He could bat number 4, number 3. That's something which I don't think Shah Rukh Khan will provide. So they'll have to find and figure out who's going to do that. I think Sai Sudarshan is a shoe in at number 3 for this team. And I also see someone like David Miller at number 5. So I don't know how they're going to fit in that number 4 position, because all they'll have to promote David Miller at 4, then they'll have Shah Rukh Khan at 5, then they'll have an issue there with Vijay Shankar as well. So what I'd ideally like to see is Sai Sudarshan, Vijay Shankar, David Miller, then Shah Rukh Khan. Then how do you use someone like a Rashid? It depends on Rashid Khan's injury available. Then they have a Rahul Tewatia, in my opinion. Then Rashid Khan. I think that looks much better. How do you see this, Jaren? Because Shubman Gill to open with Ridhiman Saha, 100%. I don't see they'll try out a Robin Mintz until Ridhiman Saha is batting really badly. So Shubman Gill will open with Ridhiman Saha. At number 3, you have a Sai Sudarshan. At number 4, you have Vijay Shankar. Number 5, David Miller. Number 6, you have Shah Rukh Khan / Abhinav Manohar. Abhinav Manohar has done nothing wrong to be dropped out of this team. Then you have a Rahul Tewatia. Then a Rashid Khan. A decent team, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, just the fact that you don't have specialists in each role, but then that's a reality that Gujarat is used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
They were used to that in that season where we ridicule them. But Ashish Nehra, I think a lot will depend on him now, especially at least with Hardik. You expected a little bit more experience. I'm not saying experienced captain, but an experienced player for sure. Shubman Gill still in the infancy of his career. He's played in some of the biggest stages. Obviously, he has, and it's not like he doesn't know how it is to win. He's won an under 19 team with an under 19 team before, but that under 19 team was a star-studded team. Now, the question is going to be. I think that's one thing that we also found out right in the first season of Gujarat Titans and in the subsequent season as well, that captaincy does not play as huge a role as it does maybe in a CSK or an MI, or even an RCB for that matter. There's a lot more input you get from the Jose Mourinho of cricket, which is Ashish Nehra. You'll see him yelling. You'll see him acting all kinds of expressions that is there in
for
the
someone
book.
like Shubman Gill, the best coach to get is Ashish Nehra
Coach
as his mentor, because he's a new captain. Same was Hardik Pandya. Both got a really good coach, and we undermine Ashish Nehra's efforts as much as we praise Hardik Pandya's great effort of taking Gujarat Titans to final. But I think it has to do a lot with Ashish Nehra, the personality, adjusting fields for that matter. How often have you seen a coach adjusting fields? How often have you seen a coach giving strategies like every ball. Like that's crazy, right? And that's what Ashish Nehra, the manager or the coach, is for Gujarat Titans. But having said this, how do you see someone like a Kane Williamson fit into this team? Because I believe Kane Williamson should be considered as a serious prospect for this team, because either he can play as an impact sub, but moreover, I see Kane Williamson as a very important role in this team, because I think if Kane Williamson can bat number three, or if Sai Sudarshan can open the batting,
He'll
Kane
have to back.
Williamson at number three, and that sorts a lot of issues for this team as well. Because then they'll have to search for a wicket keeping option. I agree with you, but then they can afford not to play someone like a Shah Rukh Khan and just take a punt with say Robin Mins as a finisher, use him there, and that gives a lot more stability. Because I think Rahul Tewatia, everybody will give you something out of it. See, this is what I personally feel. If Kane Williamson has to fit in, Sai Sudarshan opens as Shubman. Then at number three, I see Kane Williamson. At number four, Vijay Shankar. At number five, I see someone like a Shah Rukh Khan. Or else, in my other opinion, I'd have Robin Mins at number four, who keeps wickets. Then I'd have a David Miller. Then I'd have a Shah Rukh Khan, Rahul Tewatia, Rashid Khan. Then I'd have the bowlers. I think that's a much more better team, because Vijay Shankar kind of not gives a balance if they'll have to if they need stability up top with the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that looks a lot better. It makes the team look a lot better than what you see right at the go. But now again, the question is going to be, how will Kane Williamson? Because Kane Williamson, the white ball batter, has been really affected by that elbow injury, that chronic elbow injury that he's been suffering. Because Test cricket, there's a lot more time. You can really wait, play the waiting game as a batter. And I think it's not really affected him in Test cricket. He's performed really well in the recent past. But white ball format, where you need to be a little bit more, maneuverable, where you need to find precisely the gaps. I'm talking about someone like Kane Williamson, the kind of batter he is. That is going to seriously affect them. Another huge issue is going to be the fact that the last T20 game that Ridhiman Saha played was in 2023 December. I mean, October rather, which is a long time away. I think, and that is going to be a huge concern for them. He's not had match practice in a while, and that's going to hurt them a lot. And even in that match, I think he did not perform that well as much as well. 20 of 12 against the likes of. I think he plays for Tripura, if I'm not wrong.
Tripura,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think he plays for Tripura against the Railways, where the bowling lineup isn't really the most, what do you say? I mean, the most enviable. You would have to say
Mm.
that is worrying. Now the question is, can they play Matthew Wade? Probably not, because that kind of does destroy their whole. I mean, that destroys their whole balance. Then they'll have to not play a Kane Williamson. So maybe if Robin Mins, Ridhiman Saha, and Kane Williamson fails, you'll definitely see a Matthew Wade enter. But for that to happen again, you would have to. There's a lot of ifs and buts there. But the wicket keeper position, not wicket keeper position, but the wicket keeper batter position is going to be another headache for them.
And that's why it's not a bad idea to try Robin Mins, right? You don't know, it's an unknown commodity. If he
Yeah.
clicks, he's going to be a game changing one. I think Robin Mins, if you look, he's got a terrific strike rate in the domestic cricket, and they've spent good amount of money for him. It's not like they've gotten him out of anywhere, and this guy is, nobody knows what he can do. Everyone at least has had a backing of scouting report of what this guy is. Otherwise, no other team will go for him, right? There were a lot of other teams who wanted to get the best out of him, and they got something out of him. I mean, there is something about it. He's not played a lot of premier domestic cricket like the Ranji Trophy or other things, but he has played good amount of club cricket, and there is a good amount of scouting which is done on him to say that um, this guy can do wonders, and he's called as the next Chris Gale and next Dhoni in that matter, and the Kyron Pollard. He's already got so many references from some of the greatest players out there. He's a left-hand batter,
Dhoni is
short in
rank of
stature.
approval.
Sorry.
He got Dhoni's rank of approval. I mean, if I'm not wrong, Dhoni had promised his dad that if no one buys him, you can be sure we are gonna buy him. Now we know Dhoni is not someone who is gonna throw those words around.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few videos I've seen of him playing under 19, under 25. This guy has got clean hitting ability. So I think you have to take a risk. If it pays off, it pays off, because I think you'll get a lot more out of a Robin Mins than a Radiman Saha, and it'll give this team a lot better outlook. Then again with Robin Williams is where do you play him, right? But I think Sai Sudarshan has a very big season to do. But if Sai Sudarshan has a very good season, that's going to really take the pressure of Shubman Gill. Then Shubman Gill can play the way he did
Yeah.
last season. Then that's going to help someone like a David Miller down the order as well. Then that's going to help the finishers like Shahrukh and Abhinav to come and do their job quite calmly because they've got the finishers, in my opinion. But that middle order needs that little bit of a compactness. If they get that, they're good. But let's come to the bowling side of things, right? You mentioned about Karthik Tyagi, you mentioned about Umesh Yadav. How do you see a structure in the 11? Because among all this, we are also forgetting someone like an Azmatullah Omarzai they've got. And I don't really see him fit into this team. Now we took already two overseas players' names, that is David Miller and Kane Williamson, if they both are starting, that is. Then there's a Rashid Khan. The moment he comes in, he walks into this team. Then you have one more overseas slot. I believe that's going to be Spencer Johnson, considering that they don't have a lot of other bowling options. They went for Spencer Johnson at a very high price. They got him for 10 odd crore. They don't want to sit him on the bench. And with no Mohammad Shami, he's a definite starter. I know who the three bowlers are going to be with Mohit Sharma, Umesh Yadav, and Spencer Johnson. How do you see them operate? Because two spinners are definitely going to be one spinner, at least in my opinion, is going to be Rashid Khan. Other can be Sai Kishore because if they want to play Kane Williamson, then they'll have to play a Sai Kishore. Otherwise, they can play a Noor Ahmed. Most likely, what they might just do also is that, you know what, let's get the bowling little bolster. That's been their way to go. Get in Noor Ahmed and Rashid to operate in tandem. Going with the Robin Mins regardless and see how things go because they've got batting options. Let's not forget they've got players like Abhinav Manohar. They've got players like Robin Mins. All can do a job with the bat. They can give you 30, 35 runs and that's all what they need because if the guys like Shubman and if the guys like Sai can get you runs up top with someone like a David Miller scoring decent amount of runs, this team is sorted to score 180, 190 every game. And then players can play around them because Kane Williamson, I mentioned, was just to give a compactness. If there's no Kane Williamson, they can bolster the bowling. They can go in with a Spencer Johnson or a Noor Ahmed and then go Rashid, Noor Ahmed, Spencer Johnson, Umesh Yadav, Mohit Sharma, and a Karthik Tyagi as impact sub. That's a very decent bowling attack.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, the worry is going to be Spencer Johnson as well.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at Spencer Johnson's record, he had a phenomenal Big Bash 2023. That's the reason why he got picked up by Gujarat Titans in the auction. And he is someone who's still a work in progress. I know he's a left arm pacer. He's got the bounce. He's got that hit the deck kind of a bowling, just like the other Johnson. Bit of slingy action as well, but other than that, after that, he played in Major League Cricket for Los Angeles Knight Riders. Really struggled to pick up wickets, had an average of 43.5. And then in the 100 also, he
I
did a,
think he played a
I mean, he did a
one-day game
phenomenal,
against India in Indore, if I'm not wrong, before the World Cup, where he got
got
smashed
thrashed.
left, right, and center by
Yeah.
Shubman Gill, his captain, and also by Shreyas Iyer, if I'm not wrong. They both smashed him all around the
Yeah.
park. He looked like a very mediocre bowler. That's why I was very surprised when they went for 10 crore for someone of this guy's stature. He's not even, I'd say, if you're going for someone like a Jai Richardson, I can understand, okay, yeah, this guy's got something behind him.
Yeah.
He's done decently, at least in the international cricket, but he's not done anything in Indian Premier League. But to go for Spencer Johnson was very, very surprising because when I believe there are a lot of other bowlers,
Yeah.
like when you talk about SA20 and stuff, there were a lot
Absolutely.
of other bowlers who've done well and they did not consider them. And even Shamar Joseph was there in the market because he has just done well in CPL. But they went in with a Spencer Johnson seeing something and see now Shamar Joseph with LSG at the right time he landed up.
Yeah.
Or for the matter, they could have at least gone with David Willey. David Willey was a decent option in my opinion. Who could give
Hmm.
you swing up front, can battle a little bit, and could give you a lot more variety in terms of that stability what they want. But very surprised they went in with this left arm pacer.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going over his. I mean, you spoke about the one-day series. He didn't pick up any wickets in the 8 overs that he bowled. He only played one match and went at an economy rate of 7.62, which is horrible in a one-day format. And then to look at his T20I career, again, it depends on the pitch able. Like that's the only thing I can understand. He needs something off of it because you look at a New Zealand T20I series, he did very, very well. And I think New Zealand is a lot more conducive to a pacer like him because he picked up, I think, just played one match, but he picked up one wicket and just gave runs at 5 runs per over. But then in the South Africa series and then in the West Indies series, again, not really impressive. Just played 4 matches in both those series, but did not pick up big wickets. picked up 2 wickets and I think 5 wickets in out of those 4 matches. But again, he went for runs. Now the question here is, in Ahmedabad, is he going to be the pacer you're looking for? I still believe, maybe for me, I feel like he's going to be a backup for Joshua Little. Then again, Joshua Little is also not someone who inspires fear in the opposition. I'm not saying he's a bad bowler. He's just a bowler that
Yeah.
will do well in patches. Can he provide you a purple cap contender kind of a tournament? No, I mean he can't. So I think their only hope is Umesh Yadav comes
Do you
back to that
see someone
form
like
that he was in,
Karthik Tyagi being an unknown commodity thrown into the
and
mix? Because with
Karthik Tyagi,
Ashish
yeah.
Nehra around, I think that's a blessing for someone like a Karthik Tyagi, right? Like he's helped a lot of young
Yeah.
bowlers, including Mohammad Siraj himself. He has helped him to develop to a certain extent. Obviously, he did not get the results straight away. It took time, but he's helped a lot of fast bowlers and a lot in his stint as RCB coach, in his stint as the GT coach as well. Mohit Sharma's revival happened under him. Mohammad Shami bowled incredibly under him. I think
Yeah.
Karthik Tyagi as well. I think we're not talking about him enough. If Karthik Tyagi is given the Mohammad Shami role, ball with the new ball with the death, couple of overs, because I think he's got a fierce Yorker as well. If he can do that job and share the burden with Umesh Yadav, who might just get a nip around, I think they're sorted for the first 6 overs. Then what you have to focus on is a middle overs bowler, which I think Mohit Sharma is. I think for this team, instead of spending time on an overseas bowler, sometimes overseas bowler, just because he's overseas bowler, you don't need to play him. You can still afford to play an Indian bowler and get a lot better out of him. I think not playing Karthik Tyagi would be a mistake. Understandable that you spend 10 crores on Spencer Johnson, you have a Joshua Little, but trust in Karthik Tyagi. I've been a big fan of him. I'm being biased. Let's be honest, I'm being biased. But the fact of the matter is, I really want to see him. I really want to see how he goes about it because there's a lot of potential, not just for Gujarat Titans, for Indian colors as well in that guy. You give him the right amount of opportunity, maybe in absence of Mohammad Shami, there's a golden ticket for him to make a mark. With Karthik Tyagi bowling in tandem with Umesh Yadav, if Karthik Tyagi has a decent season, then with Mohit Sharma around, I think they can actually make the playoff. And if Ashish Nehra takes this team to the playoff, I'm telling you, not even win the title. If they take this team to the playoff, I'll accept Ashish Nehra is possibly one of the greatest coaches IPL has seen.
Yeah, and I think their pace battery should be Mohit Sharma, Umesh Yadav, and Karthik Tyagi for me. Then you've got Noor Ahmed, and probably you will get in a Sai Kishore, because that saves you a foreign slot as well,
Yeah.
which I think they should probably go ahead and give it
I
to
think they
Matthew
can
Wade,
play an
ask him to
Azmatullah
finish games.
Omarzai in that case, I think instead of a Kane Williamson, playing Azmatullah Omarzai would
I
be batting at
still don't
number
know he
three
will.
for. I think he's a better option than Kane Williamson when it comes to all-round ability. Can ball. You need an overseas pacer who can ball. There he is. He can open the bowling. He's batting at number 3 for Afghanistan in the recently concluded Ireland series. He was batting decently well. Scored a 140 against Sri Lanka recently. I think Azmatullah Omarzai at 3 also gives them a decent amount of, or 4 at least. Then what you can do is Ridhiman Saha, Shubman Gill, Azmatullah Omarzai, or Sai Sudarshan, Azmatullah Omarzai, David Miller, Abhinav Manohar / Shahrukh Khan, Rahul Tewatia, Rashid Khan, Noor Ahmed, then the 3 spin. I think that's a much better team. Much, much better team.
I still believe they need a Kane Williamson. I think he'll have to do the kind of role that Hardik
I
Pandya
don't
did for
know
this
if you
team,
need a
where
Kane Williamson
he
if you already have
elongates
a
the
Sai
middle
Sudarshan on
order.
your team. See,
It's just,
if you have a Sai Sudarshan and Shubman
yeah.
Gill, you need some variety. And I think this guy will give you the variety. And he's an all-round package, bro. I mean, you're looking at that person to replace Hardik Pandya. And if you want someone to even to come close, it is Azmatullah Omarzai, not a Vijay Shankar, right? And Azmatullah Omarzai, we've been talking about him far more lesser. I think if you give him the right opportunity, I think this team will get the right balance with Azmatullah Omarzai there because he can ball with a new ball. He can swing the ball both the ways, and this guy can do a much much better job, and that's gonna give a captain Shubman Gill a lot of options as well. He'd know if one of my ballers having a bad day, I can bring in Omarzai to do a little bit of a job. Imagine Umesh Yadav has a bad start of the season. He can afford to open the bowling with Azmatullah Omarzai. That's a leverage you get. And you spoke about Kane Williamson's injury. He's not going to give you. If Kane Williamson is going to get stuck, this team is going to go into the mud. So they need someone who can take the risk. They need because they've got players who can play around, right? They've got Shubman Gills, they've got Sai Sudarshans.
Yeah.
So now the question is who takes that extra bit of risk? Do you consider someone like a Ridhiman Saha or do you want Robin Mills? That's the only issue they have. I think they'll have to fixate on one. And if they're backing a Robin Mills, go ahead.
Yeah, but for me, I still am. See, I mean, I'll use the terminology that you use. I mean, Omarzai doesn't really excite me. I don't think he's there at the level that Gujarat Titans want him to play because
I
just going
think,
over his stats,
let's be honest, we have
yeah,
seen a lot of all rounders come from other countries to IPL. I can give you Dan Christian, Chris Morris. I can give you a lot of them.
Colin de
But none
Grando.
of them has been. I don't see a
Why is
pedigree of
all of these
Omarzai in
three
any of them.
names?
Huh?
Yeah, but if you look at his stats table, if you look at the top, if you look at the teams that he's done well against, Bangladesh, he's done well against Pakistan with the bat. He's done well against. I mean, these are the two countries that he's done well against. To be very frank, if you look at all of his other teams, he doesn't have an average batting average below. I mean, about 25. And when it comes to the strike rate as well, he does not really have an inspiring strike rate. His greatest best strike rate against any team is UAE of 150. Other than that, against Bangladesh, he's got a strike rate of 136, Sri Lanka 109, and this is
Then
T20 I'm
you know
talking
why
about.
I'm supporting Omarzai is not because of his batting. I'm just talking about his three-dimensional skill what he brings.
I'll give
That's
you
a
his bowling as
massive
well.
effort.
I'll give you
And
his
yeah,
bowling as
that's
well.
one
See,
thing. I
the
mean,
only
if you
team that
can
he's
give
done
me,
well against, yes,
yeah,
the only team that he's done well against, where he has an average below 30, is a Bangladesh team. And that there he's done phenomenally
I
well in
think
5 matches, 8
stats
wickets,
don't tell a
average of
story of
7.9,
Omarzai.
but the rest of them
I
are above
saw
30.
him play in the World Cup. I saw him play after the World Cup in one of the BPL games as well. This guy has got something about him. I mean, stats don't tell a conclusive story for a lot of players. I
Fair
mean, even
enough.
for MS Dhoni's
Yeah.
T20 stats, if you pick it up, he doesn't have a single. He had only 150 or something. So I don't think stats tell a lot of good
Yeah.
stories about players. But Omarzai, I still will give them the balance what they need because far better than Vijay Shankar, far better than having Kane Williamson just as a batter who will not give you power game. So get Omarzai in, big side suggestion to bat at number three, Omarzai at four, David Miller at five, and Abhinav Manohar or Shah Rukh Khan, and then the finishers to follow. Much better team. They can go on to do well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
I,
mean, I don't know. I still beg to differ. I feel like Omarzai isn't at the level. I feel like he's been picked up because of the hype that he generated. See, in
okay.
a team like an Afghanistan team, I agree. He's a great player and probably someone that I will look at as a
Yeah.
threat. But in this Gujarat Titans team, I just feel like they've got better players. I would rather throw my weight behind Vijay Shankar because he's still done. I know he's going to be slower than Azmatullah Omarzai, but then Azmatullah Omarzai hasn't also really done well in T20I format. I mean, I think even in the when it comes to the when it comes to the franchise league, he's only done well for Kumila Victorians with the bat, and
Yeah.
I think with the ball, probably if I mean I'm just going overhead and yeah, I think he's done well when it comes to the PSL for Quetta Gladiators. But aside from and Karachi Kings, but then we all know. I mean, I don't want to be throwing allegations out there, but we all know PSL, Bangladesh Premier League, not really the highest leagues
I
levels of
agree.
cricket
I
because
agree with you
Shaheen
totally. That's
Shafridi is
why
probably one of the big
I
batsmen.
personally feel at times, we have to maybe take the little bit of risk, and this is a transitional phase of Gujarat Titans. It's very funny to say
I
a
believe
new
he's a
team as a
better
transition.
one-day player. Abel. I believe
Either
he's a
ways,
better
I think
one-day
only
player.
time
I
will
mean,
tell who they prefer. It's a very interesting top 11 to watch out for because Hardik Pandya's miss is massive. I don't know if you have to talk about Hardik Pandya in this episode or do you want to talk in tomorrow's episode?
I think about Hardik Pandya, we'll just get started before we talk about Mumbai. I
Yeah,
think Hardik Pandya is one of the most loyal captains I've ever seen in cricket.
yeah.
Dhoni, Virat Kohli, no, they have nowhere near the likes of Hardik Pandya. I think you spoke about him. He is showing off to kids about fitness by playing shirtless cricket. He is an icon.
He's
That's
the
all I
same
say.
guy who told that he won two man of the matches in IPL knockouts when he actually did not.
All I'm gonna say is he said this time around that he is a local superhero of Mumbai Indians, and before that he said that Mumbai Indians only buys the best
What
players.
do you make of his interview
So you
which
can
he
decide.
gave last year to this year, where he says last year he told some teams can have all the superstars, and when IPL this season he says just
I
the
think he
opposite.
will.
Mumbai
Yeah,
Indians, where the home ground talents become superstars.
yeah. All I'll say is the shade of blue can change, but the color of money doesn't.
Very well put up. And I think Hardik Pandya has lost respect as a
Life
cricketer,
is
unfortunately. Let's be honest. He's lost a lot of respect
a bit.
from every side of being a cricket fan. You don't have to go out there and do this. Let's be honest. I understand that you want to give interviews, but it doesn't make you look good if you're a captain of a franchise. And the way you exited, the way you've come back to Mumbai, the way you have taken on captaincy from Indian captain, everything that's happened, right? It's nothing looking good.
I'll just tell you one thing, Abel. Um, I'm not talking about Mumbai Indians here because I am a Chennai fan. Consider it being biased.
Yeah.
But there's one way I like about how Real Madrid runs their football. You don't say no to Real Madrid because if you say no, you never Bernabeu is never opening their doors. This guy, I'm not going to talk about Hardik Pandya for a second. I somewhat understand him because he's a fast bowling all rounder. He is not going to play beyond 33, 34. 100%. We all know that. I can understand why he's trying to optimize his playing career, earn money. But for Mumbai Indians, I believe they had an opportunity to set a bar and say, if you spite us, you're never wearing our color of blue ever again. But
No,
for
you know
them
what
to go
happened
ahead and
there?
do
I'll tell
this,
you the story behind the scenes, right? In
yeah.
2022, I think when the auction happened, when was the auction? 2022. Yeah, 2022, when auction happened, Hardik Pandya wanted to stay in Mumbai Indians. The reason was
Hmm.
he told that I want the captaincy. He was not
Yeah.
offered the captaincy, he decided to release him. Now, this is where the story
If I'm
starts.
not
Is
wrong,
obviously his
I just want
dream
to
was
add
to
one more thing.
captain Mumbai Indians at some stage. Now, the only leeway what
Yeah,
Hardik
fair
Pandya
enough.
gets is he's gone back to his old club. It's not like he's gone to an RCB
But
or
Abel,
he's gone to a.
yeah, but I mean, as a Mumbai Indians fan, if I was Mumbai Indians fan, and that's probably because I believe in the philosophy of Chennai Super Kings,
Let's be
where
honest.
loyalty is
There's two
huge.
kinds of Mumbai Indians fans. One Mumbai Indians fan, like I'll tell you, majority of them were like harping in joy when Hardik Pandya came back. All the status.
Hmm.
A month later,
Yeah.
abusing Hardik Pandya for taking on Rohit's captaincy. So I really don't understand what they want.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just feels wrong to me, Abel. Um,
And I think that's
I
where
understand. See,
the
I
first
would
game
have
of the
believed,
IPL is so good to watch, bro. GT
yeah,
versus
it
Mumbai,
is.
their
It is
first game.
nothing short of a soap opera. You would always believe, almost see. I think I would have loved for Netflix to do a repeat or probably a sequel to the documentary they made. It would have been wonderful. I think I really hope someone has approached them. I know they would have said no, but at least I mean,
Yeah,
if I was a media house executive, I would have called the moment I found out that Hardik Pandya is going to MI. I would have made a phone call. Like
I
Ambani
agree.
bhai, show karte hai.
Okay, IPL is now WWE. As Abhishek says. I forgot to take this question. Elise Perry needs a statue at this point. I agree, she needs a statue. But
Oh
for
yeah.
me,
If
I
she
feel
wins the
one thing.
WPL, guaranteed statue after Chinnaswamy, Abel will be inaugurating it.
I agree. Only RCB, and I think only RCB team to have a trophy at this point, right? If they get, so they need a statue.
There have
And
only been two, so it's fine.
yeah, I mean, either ways, one team played 16 seasons, has had zero trophies. This team, if they get in the
Scripted.
second season, is just phenomenal. I mean, we did say it last year, right? I think RCB women's have a higher chance of winning the trophy before men. And here is the chance. You're one shot
Yeah.
away. But
Yeah, they're,
coming back
they're,
to
they're a
Gujarat Titans,
solid team. I think, yeah, I mean, just like RCB in men's side as well, they forgot that bowling also exists in two auctions continuously. If
yeah,
they had at least one outright fast bowler in
yeah,
women's cricket at this stage, because fast bowling is very important, I believe. If they had one gun fast bowler like Shabnam Ismail, or for when it comes to Delhi Capitals, they've got some very good Indian fast bowlers. Then I would have believed they can do it. But the fact that they don't
yeah. That's
have
that's
one
that's a good point. That's a good
scares me
point.
because I think
They expected
yeah,
Renuka Thakur to deliver a lot more often, which she hasn't. I think Renuka Thakur has been their biggest disappointment in a long way because they expected her to deliver. She hasn't.
just like
And
every
also
other
on top of
major
that,
fast bowler who plays for us.
they also expect Elise Perry to do a lot. I mean, she's been doing a lot, but she needs one more player to step up in pace bowling department. And RCB's strength has been the versatility they have with so many options, and that's been their strength in getting to this final as well. But I think that's about it from us talking about Gujarat Titans. How do you rate this squad, Jiren, out of 10? I give them a 6.5 out of 10. If you ask me honestly, I don't see them make the playoff. But if they do, it's a miracle. And it's going to be something great.
You remember how you came to rue those words
I don't
last
care. I mean,
the
if they
last
make, I'd be
season.
super happy
But
for
you know
them.
what?
I'd be super, super happy for
Yeah,
them.
I mean,
I have to be
I'll
practical here.
agree with you though. I still believe, yeah, I mean, I still believe this team is not, I think this team is way better than what they had in 2020, 2021, or 2022 rather. I still believe this team is a lot better because, see, they've got options. It's all about the fact that whether they can take their skill set to the next level, whether Vijay Shankar, whether Rahul Tewatia, whether Spencer Johnson, all these names, if they can turn themselves, improve 50% of what they have been performing so far, I think this team will be a force to watch, reckon with. They've got the goods. It's just that are they good enough is going to be a big question. That's why
Right.
I'll still say 7.5. I believe they've got everything covered. It's just the fact that they haven't really proven it on the big stage before. They've
I
gone for
agree. I
talent,
agree.
they've gone for raw talent, but can it be converted? That's why I still believe it's a 7, 7.5. I don't think. I think they'll still put up a fight. I still believe they might be the sixth or the seventh team, and I think that's probably where they'll end up if they play to their potential. They might end up at 6 and 5. Compete to get to the and just
But
come close.
if they can get to playoffs, I'd
A
have
lot of
to say
factors there,
that's
obviously.
going to make me personally happy because I like a story where they turn things around without having their ammunition, and that's going to be phenomenal to watch. And I see Shubman Gill as future India
I mean,
captain as well.
imagine.
So for me, Shubman Gill, how he captains is going to decide a lot when it comes to his prospect of being an India
Yeah.
captain because he is going to
Yes.
be in line to be the Indian Test captain, in my opinion. He is definitely in line to become the Indian Test
I'll
captain.
tell you what. I feel like it's going to be a race between him, Pant, two players
And KL Rahul.
to be the probably and KL Rahul, and I think Shreyas Iyer as well. I know
No.
Shreyas Iyer
Shreyas
is
Iyer is
probably
gone.
way behind
Bro,
when it
Shreyas
comes to
Iyer, I
that
don't think
race.
he's playing the IPL at this point. So we'll talk about that later. So there's a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
issue
absolutely. But I
altogether
think
here.
these are the four guys I still believe who might, because I think Shreyas Iyer is probably starting on the second lap when these guys are probably, nearing the finish line.
No,
But
what happens?
if
What
he
what
can
has happened
take,
in
I
Shreyas
mean,
Iyer is
we'll
his
obviously speak about it,
injuries.
but
The controversy
yeah.
now, a lot of things have not gone well, right? With Shreyas Iyer, he decided to skip a Ranji match. He
But
can't play 30
one
balls
thing
until
did
he
go
gets
well for
injured
him.
in the Ranji match. His back issue has flared up really bad.
Yeah.
Now this is a really bad time for him, and I think if BCCI knew he had a back issue and he pulled out of Ranji by stating that, and then still did not give him a contract, bad on BCCI. But having the back issue, if he went to KKR camp, if
Yeah.
as reported, then bad on Shreyas Iyer. So let's be honest.
I'll tell you though, from what I've heard, Abel, his performance in that Ranji final, right, where he scored 95, 95 all runs, that has turned a few heads because a lot of BCC officials were there. There was a captain sitting in his dugout, so that has gone well for him from what I'm hearing. But and I believe if I mean, obviously we're kind of going off topic, but I believe he can, still if he
I
pulls
don't see him
off
as an
a
Indian
good couple
captain,
of
at
years.
least for a reason. A player who has no contract, I don't see him as an Indian captain. See, obviously they wanted to fast
There's a
track
point. I
Pant
still
as
believe
the next captain.
I'm not
And I
saying he's
think Pant
the
this
reckoning
season is
evil.
going to be very crucial for
Like,
him. It's a comeback season. I
yeah,
don't really have a lot of hopes, but if he can do well with Delhi Capitals, we'll talk about when we talk about Delhi Capitals. But that's going to be interesting. But as I mentioned, Shubman Gill
yeah.
for me is a marketable asset as well. And I see if he does well as a
Hmm.
captain here, talking about Shubman Gill, he's definitely going to be India's next Test cricket captain because you have future in him, and we might as well make him the vice captain in the next series or something like that, and might just fast track him. And if he can start captains of India by when he's
Yeah.
27, 28, I think he's going to have a good time to go and finish his career off as well. So I think Shubman Gill as the Indian captain is going to be all depending on how he captains for GT. That's about it from us. Thank you once again for watching this, and we'll be back tomorrow, especially to talk about the Mumbai Indians because that's where the biggest drama lies. The Ambani family,
That's where
the
the juice
wedding,
is.
everything. We're going to be talking about the Ambani wedding first.
Are they still one family?
Yeah, one family. Yeah, we're talking about the one family and the Ambani family, the wedding, Hardik Pandya, everything. It's a full on show tomorrow.
Because
It's a,
yeah,
thank
at
you,
this point in
Abhishek.
time, it's turning into that movie. Saath Saath Hai.
Absolutely. Have a good
Thanks,
night, all of
Abhishek.
you. See you all very soon. Take care and bye bye.